Today is April 14th, and the title today is Freedom, but it's actually about love. To surrender to God is the highest happiness, because surrender means to be bound by love. So we called it freedom because surrender doesn't sound like freedom, but love sounds like freedom because in love you consciously choose to love, right? But when you love, you actually surrender. So surrender is free will to love. And what we might call freedom generally in the material world is bondage. And what we call bondage is often freedom because, for example, self-discipline, which doesn't feel like freedom, is actually the greatest freedom. So there are a lot of opposites. Like sometimes we say that to be free to drive through a red light is not really freedom. Hare Krishna. A little traffic here to give you the live effects of Mayapur. So, we have things backed up. I just want to be free to do whatever I want. And yeah, that's okay, but then you're also free to get old and die. And suffer in many ways. It's like one teacher said, what's the freedom the government gives you? Well, one freedom they give you is you can pay your taxes by check or by credit card. So you have that freedom. So, we're illusioned to think we have freedoms, which we really don't have, and we're illusioned to think we have control, which we really don't have, because we came to be controllers, and it's very hard to admit that we really don't have control of many things. And the irony of it, the paradox of it, is the things we do have control, often we don't control, like our minds and our senses, Isn't that funny? The things we can control, the things we should control, and the things we don't control as much. And we try to control the things we can't, like other people. Anyway, if you surrender to Krishna, the word surrender doesn't sound like freedom, but surrender brings you the highest freedom. Because once you become free from the influence of the modes of nature, then you're actually free, and you become free from the modes of nature by surrendering to Krishna. And that's called stage of Bhava, which we've discussed in our classes on Bhava. When you achieve Bhava, then you're in the internal potency of Krishna, no longer under the influence of the three modes of nature, and that is real freedom. And you only get that freedom by surrendering your so-called freedom, which is independence to do whatever you want, when in fact you can't do whatever you want. And you're free to do whatever you want. Is that why you work 10 hours a day? Because you want to do whatever you want? I don't think so. It backfires. So actual freedom is to surrender to Krishna. And again, just to emphasize, freedom, surrender. Surrender means love, because when you love, you surrender. And if you love someone in this world, you will surrender to them. Guaranteed. And so, just don't forget that when Krishna says surrender, it means love. I want you to love me. I don't want you to suffer and become captive like an ordinary slave or ordinary prisoner. I want you to surrender your heart in love. That's what Krishna means when he says surrender. Just, when Krishna says give up your independence, all he's saying is, I want you in a relationship, and your independence is competing with me for the position of the supreme position, and I just want you to be in the right position so you can actually love me and I can love you. That's all Krishna's saying. Just get in the position where we can have the relationship. Because right now you're not in a position where we can have a relationship. So surrender means just get the right attitude, the right position, do everything right, and then we can have this relationship, and that will give you the ultimate freedom. So surrender gives you freedom. So-called freedom creates bondage. It's the way Krishna made it. Hare Krishna.